Hello everyone, I'm Roisin Campbell from Rainbow Lighthouse. I would like to share some information around the energies of St. Brigid. Some of you may already know Brigid's story and her teachings. But to make you more familiar with Brigid, we have to go back to the year 450 AD. Brigid was born to a pagan father and a mother that was a slave. Her father was a chieftain. She was born in Dundalk, a young Irish girl that was baptized by St. Patrick and then was brought into a deeper faith through the teachings of St. Patrick and give her heart to her Lord. Allow your light to be your medicine. That would be the power of Brigid. I feel that would be something she would say in this day and age to the masses. And when she was 16, her father was giving her hand to the King of Ulster, and she prayed to her Lord that she would wake up ugly so that she wouldn't be distracted off her path of faith. It's a bit like life, the way our path is like the yellow brick road, and many things come to distract us from where we want to go, from where our dreams are calling us, where our faith is trying to call us. There's many trolls on the road, many shadows in forms of people, situations, mindsets, feelings that really give us doubt on our path and make us distrust in the light of the divine. Brigid never wavered off her path, and her prayers was answered. She lost an eye, so no king was going to marry a one-eyed lady. And she entered the convent and she found her home. Then many years later, she went to a king of Leinster and asked, would it be a possibility that she could have some land to create a community? And him being the king in front of his people laughed at her. And he said, how much land do you want, my dear? And because she always wore a cloak in those days to protect her, she said, as much as my cloak. And he laughed. He says, place your cloak on the land. And as she placed her cloak on the land, it expanded beyond the whole of Kildare. Kildara, which means the Church of the Oak. And she built her monastery because the king couldn't go back on his word. His ego had to say yes, or he would have felt quite disempowered. So this is how powerful the divine light can bring the things into our life that we're meant to have in our life. It's not about a material light. It's about our spiritual light and how it can light our life up and get us on our true path. So when we think back to Brigid and that young girl in the circumstances she was born and how she excelled into her faith, she lived until she was 75. She was buried in Kildare and then later exhumed and moved to Downpatrick to be resting with St. Patrick, Columkill and herself, the three energies, three saints of Ireland. Her head is in Lisbon, which is quite interesting. It must be holding an energy there for people. But in Brigid, all she ever did was to give to the poor, give to the needy. She gave everything that she had, and in the giving she received. And that's where we must come. In the giving of ourselves, in the giving of our light, in the giving of our time, in the giving of our compassion. It's not the giving of material things. It is the giving of the essence that we are, to be the space for the world, for someone else. So with the light of Brigid on the 1st of February, our feast day, we think about the Brigid's cross, the 4 arms of the cross, as that cross was made, as she sat beside the king chieftain that was dying, and she said, "Pray to our Lord, redeem your soul before you pass." And as she looked on the floor, there was rushes on the old cottage floor, and she lifted the rushes and she started to create this cross as she talked to him about the journey of the cross and to ascend from the ego mind, the sin of the mind. And in that moment, he converted to Christianity and died into the light of Christ. And as we go back to that cross, and the cross can represent really the seasons, as we think of the 1st of February, the first day of spring, the birth of the light, the birth of Christ, and the birth of you into the world. The summer, our youth, how we grow in and how we start to flourish and open up into the world. The autumn, our adulthood, where we start to think about where we want to go, who we want to be with, and what is our purpose. Our Lord's purpose was to guide us, to teach us, to save us. And then as we enter winter, the maturing energy, the time to reflect on, did we make the right choices, or what did we learn from the choices? Our Lord's death and how he had to commit himself to the whole of the world. He didn't have a choice like we have. He was a full service and then death. So the seasons, the spring, the summer, the autumn, and the winter really is the journey of the cross that we all carry. So in this moment, with the power of Saint Brigid, the female saint of Ireland, the island of Ireland, she also carries the balance of the male and female, because an amazing thing happened to Brigid when she was in the procession, as she was walking in the church for the ordination of the bishops. And as she was walking through, an energy came into the church on the priest's hand, and he pressed his hand upon her head and ordained her as a bishop without realizing it. So once ordained, you're always ordained. Once initiated, you're always initiated. Once you're awakened, you're always awakened. And she then became the qualities of the male and female on service in a feminine and a masculine energy within her to the light. She was the first woman to create the first monastery of male and female together. So she unites our hearts. She unites our male and female in one light. So on the 1st of February, the first day of spring, with the power of the cross and the seasons of birth and death, Brigid asks us to come and connect with her light on a 1-hour meditation. I will be transmitting from Rainbow Lighthouse on Monday night at 7:30. You can click the link and join the meditation. There is a £10 donation fee for my project of grace. If you cannot afford the fee, please contact us directly at Rainbow Lighthouse, and you will be given a link to join without any charge. So come and join the soul family and light your heart's path through the light of Brigid. To still your soul, to find your place within the whole of the journey of life. Our divine light is a heart experience, not a mind experience. Let your light be your medicine. Let Brigid awaken you. There are so many contradictions in the belief systems in the world, so much confusion, so much fear and falseness. Open your conversation, you and you alone with the divine. That's the faith. And let all the helpers, the masters, the angels, the saints guide you. Thank you for listening to this brief story of Brigid. May she guide you, protect you, heal you, and surround you with her magical cloak to expand your faith, expand your trust, and to live your truth.